Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Cloud Insights. In this video, we are going to see how to set up VPC pairing connection to have communication established between two different VPCs. Normally, when we create a VPC in AWS, it will have a static route to its own CIDR block. When we have a different CIDR block for another VPC, how do we establish the connection between these two VPCs? There are plenty of ways to do it, and VPC pairing is one of the method using. It is coming as a feature of VPC service from AWS, and we are going to use it. And for the pricing of the VPC pairing, it doesn't come with a cost. However, you would be charged based on the network transfer, how much of data it is traversed using that particular pairing. Based on that, you would be charged monthly, right? Let's get to it. In this demonstration, we are going to create two VPCs. Why? Because in the ideal real world scenarios, IT infra workloads are completely segmented, or I would rather say isolated into different VPCs for security and easy management purpose, right? It is not like in the on-premises, we don't have a choice. We separate our workloads only through VLAN and different network ranges, but all the critical servers would share the same switches and routers. But here in cloud, we can do it in a more efficient way. For demonstration purpose, I just laid out a plan how we are going to do this. We are going to create two VPCs. One is management VPC and another one is production VPC. And we are going to use the CIDR block which is given here. In the management VPC, we are going to create a jump server. I should call it as a management server maybe. We create a Windows EC2 instance. We ensure that we are able to connect it. We create the security group with the route from allowing the security group rules to allow the RDP connections from anywhere from the internet. To be able to connect to the internet for the VPC, what we need an internet gateway. So we create an internet gateway, and to be able to establish a connection between from your own laptop over the internet to the EC2 instance kept in a particular VPC, you need to have a proper routes enabled. Okay, so we see that. Then we create another VPC, let's call it as a production VPC, and use this CIDR block. And then we create a test instances in a particular subnet and have it associated with the route table of this particular production VPC. And then finally, we are going to create a pairing connection between management VPC and production VPC. As a last step, we are going to update the route table of both the VPCs with the given routes, static routes, as an example. All right, let's get to it. I have selected my region as Mumbai, which is closer to me. I'm going to click on VPC. You can also do this from services, and you can search for it here and click on it. And since I frequently use it, I get this here. So selected VPCs, and we are not going to use VPC wizard, right? Click on create VPC, choose VPC only, and what should be the name of this VPC? We have already laid out mgmt.vpc, the CIDR block, which is 10.11.0.0/16. Rest everything the same. Create VPC. Whenever you create VPC, by default it creates a route table, right? It comes with a route table, network access control, and the DHCP option set from where we get our IPs assigned. Okay, let's get to the route table and I'll show you what is the default routes exist already. routes. This is the default route that comes with when you create a route table. Okay, here is where we are going to play with the settings, with the rules, by adding an static routes. What is the next thing we need to do? We need to create subnets in this VPC. I'm clicking on subnet, create subnet, and select VPC, and we are going to use MGMT VPC. In this VPC, we are going to select create a particular subnet, and I'm going to name this subnet as jump server 01. I'm choosing a particular availability zone. I'm choosing 1A, AP South 1A as the availability zone for this particular subnet, and here is the CIDR block of the subnet. 10.11. is our network ID, and 1.0/24. By default it suggests the suitable CIDR blocks, the network bits. By default AWS gives you the suggestion. I'm going to go with 24/24. Create subnet. This is the subnet that we have created. Okay, now this has to be associated with the route table. Let's click on the route table. Let's go to Subnet Association. And as you see, this is a new route table. So it doesn't have any association created yet. So let's click on Edit Subnet Association, and in here we will have a list of available subnets. Since this VPC has only one subnet listed here, so I'm selecting that. Click Save Associations. Now if you look at it, we have the subnet associated. So far what we have done is that we have created this VPC and we have created this subnet. We have the route table, the default route table, in which we have created this association, the subnets association with this route table. Okay, the next thing what we are going to do, we are going to create an internet gateway and attach it. Let's create an internet gateway. This internet gateway is for management VPC only, so I'm going to name likewise MGMT VPC IGW01 Internet Gateway 01, and no other settings required. Create internet gateway, and as soon as it gets created, if you look at the state, it says detached. That means we need to attach it. So go to Actions, Attach VPC, and attach it with VPC. Attach internet gateway. Now the state changed to attached. So now we have attached the internet gateway. It's done. Can we connect to a resource within the VPC from the internet now? No. Why? Because this VPC, the management VPC, still does not have a internet connection because it does not have a routes enabled. So this is the main route table. Let's look at it, and let's click on routes in the route table, and you see it has route enabled only for the local network. So how do we enable this VPC to connect to the internet? Let's see about that. Click Edit Routes, Add Route 0. This is the default IP for the internet, which that means any network technically. So that means internet. To connect to internet, what is the target? If you click on it, by default VPC provides a lot of various options to do, but internet gateway is the option that we are using. And internet gateway I have selected. Save changes. Now the VPC have a route to the internet. There is a path to reach the internet, right? What is the next thing we need to do? Let's create a jump server. Go to EC2 service. Probably I would fast forward this whole process to save our time, but you can watch it and learn. Alright, if you look at the security group, I'm creating a new security group with the name of gem server SG01. The routes by default, it suggests to, since it's a Windows machine, the RDP coming in protocol using TCP and the RDP port, and it is giving the source from where network connections can originate is from any network. Okay, and yes, we are going to connect over the internet in this demonstration, so we are not going to touch this here, and click on review and launch. Now the jump server instance is provisioning and initializing in the background. Meantime, let's save some time. Let's go to VPC and create a production VPC. And again, I'm creating the same VPC in the same region. Let's create a new subnet in the newly created VPC, prod VPC. Now we have created a subnet in this VPC, in the production VPC. Now we need to enable the routes to ensure the proper route is connected. And in this route, we are not going to attach any internet gateway because this VPC is not supposed to have a route to internet for security purpose, right? But the newly created subnet has to be associated with this. So I'm clicking on Subnet Association, edit Subnet Association, and select the newly created one and click Save. Now in this route table, in this route, our subnet has been attached. Let's go back to the EC2. Let's try to create a new instance in the production VPC. Alright, for the new instance in the production workload, production VPC, we are creating the security group right now. And to be able to connect to this instance from a different VPC, we need to have, routes enabled is the first thing. And then we need to allow the security group to allow the network connections that is originated from this our management VPC. Okay, and that is what we are going to do. We don't want to allow the RDP connection from any network, but we wanted to allow it only from our management VPC. So let's give the CIDR block here 10.11.0.0, and I'm going to give the whole CIDR block here. Okay. Review, launch, and alright. So far what we have done is that we have created management VPC and created subnet, and we completed all these, created an internet gateway and attached with the management VPC. The next part, we have created a VPC for production and created a subnet and associated the subnet with the route table of this VPC, and now we have just created a production workload which is here. Okay, and what is next is that let's give a try. First we will try to connect to the management VPC jump server from internet, and from the jump server let's try to connect to this instance that are running in the production subnet and see whether we are able to connect to it. Alright, now we have successfully connected to the jump server, and let's try to ping the EC2 instance that we have created in the production VPC and see whether our communication is working from our jump server. ping the IP, and it timed out. Let's go to route tables. This is the management VPC route table, okay? And this is where this jump server is routing its network, okay? It has route to local, and it does not have a route to reach the other VPC. We can add route 172.21.0.0/16, but what should be the target? Which one should connect? This is where the VPC pairing comes into picture, right? Let's go to VPC Dashboard. Alright, this is the VPC Dashboard, and now let's go to VPC Pairing Connections under VPC, and it does not have any pairing connections created. Let's create one. Create pairing connection mt to prod, and VPC pairing connection works like this. There should be one VPC should request another VPC for the pairing connection. Okay, that is what we are going to do. This is a requester VPC. Which VPC should initiate the request? Should be management, because this is the VPC where all of our management workloads going to be. And what is the target one, which is an acceptor VPC. By default, it also giving you an option to choose whether this VPC belongs to your account or belongs to a different one. If you select different one, that account ID has to be pasted here. So this belongs to my account, so I'm choosing it. And the region, by default, it's you can also have VPC from another region to establish the pairing. And actually, we are going to test this only in the same region. So I'm going to select the VPC ID that is going to accept the pairing, which is production, and select it. And also it shows the route, and let's create the pairing connection. And if you read it carefully, you can accept or reject this pairing request from using action menu, and you have until Tuesday, May. That means almost a week of time AWS is providing you to validate this pairing request and accept it. Okay, it's not like instantly the pairing connection established. We can instantly go to the VPC and action menu and accept it. Let's click on action and accept the request. Why we are getting the accept option also in the same screen is that both the VPCs belongs to same account, okay, and both are located in the same region, okay, and accept request, and pairing connection is has been established. Route tables, it's not enabled right now. Let's come back to this. Let's keep this screen active. I'm going to open the VPCs in a different tab, and we are going to associate this VPC pairing connection in each of the route table. So far what we have done is that we have created both the VPCs and created machines in both the VPC to test it, and we tested the connection to the production workload EC2 instance running here from the jump server here, and we saw the network connectivity was not established because this management VPC doesn't know how to route the network packets. Because of that packets were dropped. Okay, now we have created a VPC pairing. The association of this VPC pairing in each of the route table has to be updated. Now I'm going to edit the route table of the management VPC first. Okay, and it has subnets associated. This is fine. We are going to edit route, add route. So what is our requirement? This VPC has to connect to the production VPC, which is 172.21.0.0/16. And what is the target? Where this network package for this address range has to be routed? It has to be peering connection. So the moment we select the peering connection, the newly created peering connection is appearing. So select this, save changes. Let's do the same in the production route table. So this is the production route table, edit routes, and if you look at it, like we have already discussed, it does not have a route enabled for an internet gateway because we don't want to have a route to the internet for the security reason. Alright, here now let's add the management VPC address range, and what should be the target where the network packets has to be directed. VPC pairing connection, and then the same pairing connection is appearing. Select, click on save. Okay, now we have completed the whole process here. Now both the route tables have connection to routes enabled to each other via the pairing connection. Alright, now let's go to the VPC instance and try to connect and see whether we are able to connect to this production Windows machine from the jump server. I'm going to use this password and connect to this production EC2 instance from the jump server. This is the IP of the production machine, and yes, it is asking for the credential which we need to use. It is going to be local/administrator, and the password that we have decrypted. Click OK. Alright, this is it. Actually, we are connected to the jump server using its public IP. If you look at it, this is the public IP of the jump server. From the jump server, we are able to RDP into the Windows production environment machine, which has the private IP. This is possible only because of the VPC pairing. So now, as a user, over the internet, via the internet gateway, we have first connected to this jump server in this management VPC, right? And then through the VPC pairing routes, network routes, this is exactly the same that we have created in both the route tables, right? Because of these routes enabled, our RDP connections through these routes, we are able to connect to the instance which is in the production VPC from jump server, right? Hope you understood this lengthy demo. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you up in another video. Thank you.